Hey everyone, this is Dan Charles with Lite Forex. It is May 23rd, Saturday. I'm going to break down the major Forex pairs starting with the Australian USD. Please subscribe to the channel. Go to the link in the description below this video and hit the like button if you like my videos, please. Thank you. Okay, let's get into the Australian US dollar. Okay, so we hit a bit of a wall at 6,600. You can see that I drew that in the last time we made a video. And the 20th, yeah, it came up and we closed below that price, that 6,600 price, and you can see we pulled back. Now on Friday, we got a bit of a lower wick here, so what really needs to happen is it needs to set up to continue the break to the upside. If we look at the 60-minute, you can see we're putting in lower highs. We had some support around 6,500. That got taken out, and now we're kind of waiting. This needs to break. It needs to set up and break. So I would be waiting for a break above 6,500. So it's a wait and see for me, actually. If that happens, you really want to see this break out and set up and see if it can take 6,600 and keep this uptrend going. It's normal to have pullbacks. You can see the pullbacks. This was obviously a false breakout. Here we finally broke out last week, but we didn't break out too far without having this pullback. Now you look at the weekly chart, and you have to always look and see and visualize where things are going to open up. Is this just going to keep going straight up after it opens, or is it going to pull back a bit more? So we have to look at that. We also have to look at the fact that it does look like there's a wall around the 65.32 price where we're closing. So yeah, you look at the monthly, and it does look to me like it could have more upside still, although this month is coming to an end soon. The 240, you could see that resistance hit at 65.98 exactly on the 240, pulling back. So this is a wait and see. We're waiting for that setup to happen. So let's see if this can set up and break out. But first, let's take a look at the Australian futures contract. Now the Australian futures, the daily chart at least, you can see there's a lot longer of a wick here. So we hit that wall at 66. There's the wall at 66. Here we are pulling back. And now we got this long lower wick, and now it needs to set up and break. So if this breaks, closes above 66 on Monday, then I'm going to continue being bullish on this one. But let's see if it can set up and do that first. Euro USD, well, I talked about these resistance levels, and 1.1000, there's definite resistance, but you can see that resistance around 109.79. You can see it's tried quite a few times to break out of this range, and it keeps pulling back. So we got a long, nice lower wick as well here. You look at the monthly and you see the higher lows. You see these long lower wicks. It does suggest more that we could bounce more to the upside. The 240, we're definitely overextended. This is ready for a rebound, no doubt. But we're really waiting to break through that resistance. We got support at 109, right? It busted below that support, but it's always where it closes. We're closed at 109.28. This needs to break out, just like the Australian USD. It's kind of a wait. I like the idea of it breaking out, but until it breaks and closes above this resistance, we're just back in this range again. So let's see how that plays out. But let's take a look at the Euro futures contract. So yeah, you see that resistance, that wall at 1.10000. Nice long lower wick though. Let's wait for this to break. Let's see if this breaks out. Look at the monthly chart. And you see that support. We got this little green line in here, just showing that we got support at 107.740. So look for this to look for that to break out on Monday, and then if we get that breakout set up, then I'm going to be confident that this is going to go on a run. But while we're in this range, we really have to wait for the setup to happen. It's all about patience. Patience and waiting for the setup to happen. Okay, pound USD, it's holding support at 1.22. You can see it's been red the last few days, but it's not really like having a big drop. It's not dropping like we see here, and that just tells me that we could be ready for that big rebound. So yeah, look for that rebound. 1.23 is the resistance. Of course, if this breaks out and busts through 1.23, I'm going to be pretty confident that this is going to go on a move. Of course, the 60 and the 240 are definitely looking more bearish than anything. This is definitely looking bearish. You can just see the lower lows and the lower highs. Yeah, we're definitely looking more bearish than anything. So yeah, this is a very bearish candle in the 60. It definitely looks more bearish than anything, but the fact that we're holding that, we're hovering around that support price is what's interesting to me. So let's see if it can hold and have a big turnaround on Monday. Let's take a look at the pound futures though. See what they're saying. Okay, so yeah, there it is, 22.05. Yeah, so it's holding that support. So that is key. Obviously the 60 and the 240 are showing a different price. Because this is showing it's closed at 22.06. Here we're closing at 21.67. All right. Well, going by the daily, let's see if it can have that break. Let's see if we can have that break on Monday, and that would set up nicely for an upside move. Well, the New Zealand dollar is not much different from the Australian dollar. They tend to correlate. You can see the higher lows on the monthly. We do have some support. You look at the 60. We got some support at 60.84. And this one is holding that support at 61. But we are hitting that wall at 61.50. So if this can break 61.50 and finally break through, I think this goes on a move. So let's wait to see if that happens. It's definitely lining up like it's got that shot to do so. New Zealand futures, same type of thing. It does look like it's a very similar looking setup, but we got that wall at 61.50. Let's wait and see for this to break out. I'm anticipating this breaking out on Monday. Okay, USD CAD. Now USD CAD is just been, it's just another pair that's been very, very choppy. And on Wednesday when we made a video, it did hit some support at 38.66, hit 38.68 the next day, pulled up slightly, and we still didn't break through this bottom of this channel, 38.50. So it rebounded on Thursday and Friday, and we are just slightly above that 1.40 resistance price. Now I look at this, and it does look to me like we could have more upside. You look at the 240, you look at the 60, looks like there's more upside. I look at the monthly and I get a little bit worried. To me, it looks, we're putting in those lower highs. It doesn't look that great. And we're just in this choppy range. So, you know, the USD CAD it's just very, very, it's definitely the most choppy pair. But we've been really, really choppy on most of these Forex pairs for a while now, weeks and weeks. And we're just waiting for it to break above the range. And on this one, it's above 42. The low end is 38, but you could say 39. You can see we held 39 support previous Wednesday, and then of course on Thursday, and here we are breaking out. So most of the low time frames tell me we're going to keep bouncing back up. Of course, I'd like to see this above 41, but this one's just a wait and see. It does look more bullish, of course, by looking at this daily chart. Let's take a look and see the Canadian futures, though. Yeah, Canadian futures sideways. Of course, it's going to look the exact opposite. Very bearish candle on the weekly. Very bearish looking candle. 71 is important support price for the Canadian dollar. So if it busts through 71, then the Canadian dollar's going to come down. But when we're in this choppy range, this could easily just break to the upside and the USD CAD just comes to the downside. It's unreliable right now when you're choppy. Right now it does look like, you know, it does look like it's going to go down. So let's see, I'm going to be leaning more bearish on the Canadian dollar, bullish on the USD CAD, but it's choppy, so you have to be cautious. Okay, lastly, USD yen. USD yen, well, I called this breaking out earlier. Now we hit a bit of a wall at 109, sorry, 108. 108. I don't want to get ahead of myself. 109's here, 108. Needed to pull back to the moving average, and now we're trying to set up. You can see we are putting in lower highs on the daily chart. You can see all those consecutive lower highs. And we're just setting up for a break above 108, a nice break and close above 108. And if that happens, then I think this goes on a nice move. But we need to wait for that setup to happen. I like the support at 107. You can see we got that nice support I've been talking about through this time in here. I talked about that support nicely holding above 107. So I was really calling for this break. But it needed to close above 108. So now we hit that resistance. Now it needs to take that out. Let's see if it does that on Monday. Let's take a look at the yen futures. It's going to look the opposite. Yeah, so you can see we're putting in higher lows. We're doing the exact opposite. So we're waiting for this to break down as we're waiting for the USD yen to break up through 108. So that's kind of what I'm seeing on the yen here. It does clearly it's putting in higher lows. This little parabolic SAR has tipped below the candle, which can mean the start of a new uptrend. When the black dots are above, it's in a downtrend. When they switch to below, they can go the other way. So you can't rule that out. You can't rule this out going up and the USD yen coming down. But just based on this chart, we're waiting for this to have a breakout to the upside and finally bust through 108. And that's how I'm going to be playing Monday's market. So please subscribe to the channel. Go to the description. Go to the link in the description below this video. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.